Hi folks, this is a follow-up video to part 1 of the Fiesta injector seal replacement. So once you've removed your injector seat will probably look something like this with a lot of dirt down in the injector hole. What you can do is you can buy a professional set like this to actually cut the injector seats again, or you can just make your own tool such as this one that I made myself. So to make a tool like this, what you're going to need is a piece of dowel or garden bamboo. Just you get it from your local garden shop. And just take one of the old injector washers, glue it to the top of the piece of bamboo like what I've done here, then cut out a piece of sandpaper that's the same size as the washer and then glue that on top of the washer. That gives you a little tool that you can use. What I recommend just before you start doing any light sanding and down in there, just put a bit of kitchen cloth or kitchen towel over the tool that you've just made and just rotate it down into the hole with the kitchen towel just down in there to soak up any of the sort of oils and diesel and so on that might be down in there, and just to lift any sort of particles that might be sitting down in there before you start sanding. So once that's done, you can just lightly sand the area down in there, and I wouldn't go mad doing this. Just a light polish is all you want to do, just to clean up the metal surface. This is the kind of cleanliness that you want to achieve down in there. Just for reference, this is a picture of what it looked like beforehand, and again just this is what it looks like after. So there's a big difference in how that metal looks once you've cleaned it up. The next step is very, very important. So because you've been working on the injector holes there, you may have put some particles down into the actual cylinder itself. So to allow the engine to sort of clear itself of any of that material, just turn the engine over a few times with the injectors out and with the injector holes open, and this will allow any of that material just to blast out and the engine will clean itself. Just a quick tip while you're reinstalling the injectors: before you go near the injectors, just put the individual little washers themselves down into each hole. The reason that you would do that is because if you tried to do it by putting them onto the injectors themselves, you then turn the injector upside down and the seal is going to fall off. At this point then you're ready pretty much to put everything back together again, but you might want to just clean up the intake manifold with the amount of soot that's pumped into the engine through the use of the EGR valve. In my particular case, the intake was actually full of soot. So to clean it out, if you maybe leave it overnight soaked with something like diesel or carb cleaner or a mix of whatever you have, you should be able to pour it out of the intake manifold then and bring all the soot with it. Now just go through the process of reinstalling everything. So just follow the part 1 video and just do the reverse of what was done in that video. One thing that might prove to be a little bit tricky is the reinstallation of the intake manifold, and might take a few attempts before you can get it right. What makes it difficult is that there are 4 O-rings that need to be seated onto the individual ports of the intake manifold, and if those aren't seated correctly and all at the same time, then the intake won't seat down in correctly and you won't be able to screw it down in correctly. Just for reference, this is the sequence for tightening the cylinder head cover bolts. You can also replace the seal or gasket that's in there as well, but in my case the seal that I had was in good condition, so I just left it as it was. Once complete, the engine may be a little bit difficult to get started again. If that is the case, you may need to either try and get the airlocks out of the fuel system, or else you could just alternatively just try and tow the car to get it started again. If you want to support the channel and see any more of these types of videos, just hit subscribe. If you want to leave a comment below, I'll try and answer any queries or questions as best as I can. Thanks for watching.